FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Welcome. This is Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz, and today is March 13th, 2018. Getting close to the Ides of March. Watch the markets. As always, be a part of the show. Join in the discussion. We love getting your emails. And, well, we all know what happened in Parkland, particularly hit home to me. That high school, just 20 minutes probably from my home. And Parkland, I know the area very well, spent a lot of time there. And are we addressing the right issues? The race for gun control, is that going to be effective? Many believe not, I among them. But we've got with us, really blessed, Noel Flasterstein. And Noel, you're a national gun rights expert, criminal trial attorney, and Second Amendment advocate. We welcome you to the show, and let's talk about this. What happened? The mass shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, the legislative response to it here in Florida. What do you make of it?
Well, first, let me say thank you for having me on. And, it is a tragedy what happened. And unfortunately, instead of actually looking for real answers, looking for real solutions, we have politicians and people, regular, common, everyday people, their heartstrings are being pulled, and understandable that this would occur. But just because we're overly emotional, and many of us, all of us, especially in the South Florida area, we've all been affected because this is right here, right in our home. And with that being said, though, we got to be careful in what we do and how we respond. You know, what you have right now, the response has been a restriction on the Second Amendment. They tried to pass an AR-15 ban in Tallahassee, but they now have made it, if you got to at least be 21 years of age, if you want to purchase a long gun, an AR-15. They've now done that. And I think, unfortunately, there are many, many people that think if we banned the AR-15, this wouldn't have happened. If we banned guns, this wouldn't happen. But, come on. We all know that's not the case. I mean, marijuana is illegal. It's not stop people. Opiates, drugs, they're illegal. Hasn't stopped or solved the problem. So let's just go and put our focus on the AR-15. Let's ban it. It will never happen again. But what did we see? What has come out? One, the ineptness, the ineffectiveness of Sheriff Scott Israel, who should bow out and remove himself, which I don't think he's going to, and the ineffectiveness of police on multiple levels, and not just in being there. I think there are a lot of people, advocates for gun control, that think, you don't need a gun. Let the police, the police are there. They have guns. They can help you. They can save you. We had police on site, on scene, that didn't respond. Now, I'm not talking about Parkland. They went in and did what they were supposed to do. But Broward County, the sheriff, armed, doesn't go in. Other officers that arrived on the scene doesn't go in. Hey, wait and rely on the police? That's an argument for you need to arm yourselves. You need to protect yourselves because the police who were there didn't do it.
Yeah.
Did not do it. And what about, I'm sorry.
You know what they say, Noel, when seconds count, the police are minutes away. Here, they were there on the scene. That deputy who resigned right after it was outside there listening to the shots go off. And let's not even talk about the fact that it was all preventable. They knew all about this kid. Everybody knew that he was a time bomb. The FBI's warnings, the Sheriff's Department going to his home 45 times. I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg here, Noel.
Not even responding to those obvious signs. We've heard it said over and over. If you see something, say something. People saw something, people said something, but nothing was done. And if there's a clear case, it's Parkland for the expansion of the Second Amendment, not for taking away your rights. Because maybe if a teacher or some other school staff were permitted to have a firearm on that campus, Maybe they could have saved themselves. Maybe they could have saved others. But see, here's the illogic in operation. We want our schools to be safe. We're going to ban guns. So where do the crazy mass shooters go? They go to a place like a public school because they know they're going to have the least resistance and be able to affect the most damage. And for this person, unbeknownst to them, police would be on scene and take no action.
Yeah.
Again, an argument for the expansion of the rights, not a limitation.
Yeah. How many cops do you need at a school to take action here? That's what I want to know. How many do you need? 10 there so that they all have the guts to go in there? And I don't demean them because, look, it's scary and you're laying your life on the line, but that's what they have pledged to do. And then to not do it is just beyond the pale here.
The only person who can take any responsibility for that has to be Sheriff Scott Israel. Why didn't his deputies engage? Was that their training? Was that their policy? We don't know, but we do know one thing without a fact, for certain, they didn't engage. Parkland engaged, and we got to commend them. And I'm not disparaging the police. I'm not going to disparage them, but I will disparage Sheriff Israel for not taking action and not having deputies on scene that would take action. The buck stops with him, whether he likes it or not. So you want to deprive me of my rights to protect myself and have me rely on you. You've just made the case against that. You made the case that even, you know what, and engaging this person, they could have engaged him years prior. Mm-hmm. They could have engaged him without his weapon drawn, without their weapons drawn, but they didn't. And we're not talking like one or two calls. I can understand that. I don't know, 39, 40?
45.
How many more were there that we do not even know about? And they took no action.
They took no action. The FBI didn't do what's in their name, Federal Bureau of Investigation. They didn't investigate too well, did they?
Not at all. And I guess they may have come out, well, we don't want to violate someone's rights. So what we'll do is we'll violate the person who is abiding by the law, and we'll take away their Second Amendment. Quite honestly, when the legislature enacted the ban on, raising the age to purchase a long gun or a rifle from 18 to 21, I kind of was like, what do I care? I'm 48. Doesn't affect me. But then I thought about it. What about that kid who we can compel to go to war? Forget about they do it on their own, but we could actually compel them. And he's been working hard, saving up, good student, upstanding model citizen, and he's just been saving his money because he's looking forward to buying that AR-15 or that shotgun or that 22 rifle to go bird hunting, whatever it may be. And now all of a sudden he can't. He's being punished because of an inept sheriff's department and because of a deranged lunatic. That person and her, this girl that wants to get a shotgun, that likes to target you, she's being punished. She too can be join the service, so forth and so on. But she is now prohibited to buy a long gun until she's 21 because of Sheriff Scott Israel and because of this deranged maniac that they did not take any action to stop, to intervene, to react when all the warning signs were there. And now these idiots say, well, let's ban the AR-15. This will stop it. No, it won't. Next time he'll pack a pistol. Next time he'll bring a shotgun. Hey, let's ban all the guns. He'll bring a bomb, a firebomb, a homemade bomb, whatever it may be. You're not going to get a solution to this problem by banning guns. America has always had guns. Since our history, the common citizen has had guns. So guns are not the problem. The problem is our society. What makes a young man go and do that? And why haven't we intervened? Why, taking away guns from law-abiding people is not going to help that young person and protect society from them being able to commit those acts again in the future. Now, let's put a financial spin on this. Guess what, folks? If you own an AR-15, now's the time to sell because the value the market value has gone up. So whenever these gun control people start saying we got to get rid of guns, we got to save the children, when they call Dana Loesch a murderer for supporting our Constitution, they increase the value of an AR-15. AR-15 can go anywhere from $600 to $3,000 in a normal market. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, when you have these tragedies and people want the quick, easy solution, they think it's to ban firearms. Now all of a sudden that $600 AR-15 is $1,200. That $3,000 AR-15 is $9,000. So folks, financial news, for the financial in you, here's what happens when the gun controllers, gun grabbers start making their, the cure to all the ills of society is disarming citizens, denying them their constitutional right. The value of your property goes up. Just wanted to throw that in there. Sorry about that. But again, why are they taking this route? Would banning the AR-15, would that have stopped and prevented what happened? No. If the guy really wanted to get an AR-15, he would have got one. If he really wanted to get some other firearm, he would have got one. Mm-hmm. It does nothing. And so the people that sit there and argue that for pro-gun control, saying we, they say it is to make our society more safer. Let's disarm everybody so the criminals won't have guns. And common sense. Only the criminals will have guns. So even though ostensibly they say, they want to protect the children, they want to protect society from the bad guys with guns or gals with guns, that's not really what they want. They just want a society where only the government has guns, because then the populace can be controlled better. That's the real objective. And they're trying to use this tragedy to obtain that objective when, from my point of view, clearly this tragedy is an argument for expanding the Second Amendment, removing the prohibition of firearms from schools. You don't see these mass shootings happening in malls. Why? Because a would-be shooter goes in there, he does not know who's armed. Here in Broward County, we have 120,000 concealed weapon permit holders. Here in Miami-Dade County, we have 140,000 concealed weapon permit holders. So you only hear about these mass shootings most of the time, 95% of the time. I don't have the exact figure, but I do know from my observations, it generally occurs in what we call gun-free zones. I guess the gun-free is to make it safer, when in fact it actually has the opposite effect and becomes a magnet for the would-be crazed shooter to go and inflict their carnage in those gun-free zones.
Yeah. Yep. I think you're right. Gun-free zones definitely act as, all clear sign to potential madmen like this. And we don't even have to get into all of the opportunities they had to intervene here. The one thing I will say is that because the system is so screwed up, because this kid who is under 18 when he got into most of his trouble, it never hit his record. Therefore, the whole background check scheme failed to weed him out. If you gave him an extra 3 years before he could buy a gun, he probably would have been in trouble and not been able to buy it. It's kind of a perverse result of the permissive attitude at the school and at the county level.
Well, here's one thing I think people should realize. I just quoted you a couple of figures. In Miami-Dade, it's 140,000 concealed weapon permit holders. Those are people that actually took the time to get a license to carry on them concealed. That doesn't account for all the other citizens of Miami-Dade that lawfully carry a firearm in their car, which you're allowed to do as long as it's securely encased. The same, Broward County, 120,000. That doesn't account for all the gun owners that don't have a permit that lawfully carry a firearm in their car, and of course have at their home. Palm Beach County, I think it's about 80,000. I'm not sure, but the point I'm trying to make is this: that is a small fraction of the actual gun owners in the three counties. Mm-hmm. With that being said, people make the mistake that the gun issue, gun rights, Second Amendment, falls on Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative ideologies. It doesn't neatly fit into that model, because I know plenty of Republicans that are pro-Second Amendment, but I know just as many Democrats, even far left liberal Democrats, that like their Second Amendment, that like their gun rights. I mean, would we consider the Black Panthers a conservative group? Of course not. Martin Luther King, I think a lot of people think of him as liberal, as left. I don't know. I know he applied for a concealed weapon permit and was denied in, I believe it was Alabama. It was applied for a concealed weapon permit and was denied. But the point is being this. What we need to do as the voters of South Florida, we need to organize. We need to let the politicians know on the local level, forget the national level, the NRA can take care of that. But on the local level, we need to organize and let people know when they're running for public office and they're going up there and they're paying lip service, that they need to pay lip service to us, the gun owners, the citizens that have concealed weapon permits, the citizens that vote. And they may be paying some lip service to some far left ideology, but they're incorrect. There are a lot of Democrats. Most of our counties are, the political makeup is primarily Democrat.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, the most firearms in the state of Florida are in South Florida.
Absolutely.
That Democratic liberal bastion stronghold.
Yeah, those
it doesn't fall simply on those lines.
Those three counties. I know a number of my friends are hardcore left, and yet the one area they deviate on is gun rights, the right to carry. I can think of several of them here in Florida, and I say, but look, your party says you shouldn't be armed, that the state should have a monopoly on force, and that you should wait for the cops to come. And they just roll their eyes because it's a common sense issue here. And the only people who are really fighting it, or a lot of the people fighting it, are in the blue states where it's already very difficult to get a carry permit. Places like New York and New Jersey, Connecticut, which used to be very easy, now is very restrictive. Then you've got California, and Illinois has had to back off. Their law was declared unconstitutional. Finally, they provided for a right to carry, but there's so many places you can't carry it that it starts to lose its value. So the lessons from this, Noel, what do you think the main takeaway is from the whole Parkland high school debacle there, tragedy?
The lesson, we need to examine our society. And when the opportunity presents itself, whether it's 39, 40, or more times, to let law enforcement know that there could be an issue, that someone could be a danger, they need to follow up. Maybe they shouldn't wait till the 49th call or the 50th call. Maybe they shouldn't even wait till someone even says, hey, let me bypass Broward County Sheriff's Department and contact the FBI directly. Maybe our authorities, our elected officials like Scott Israel, should take it upon themselves to make sure that first call is examined. Time and resources are spent on following up. Is this a prank call or is this an actual? Instead of time and resources being spent on 17 funerals. That's where we need to put our focus. And banning the AR-15 is not going to solve the problem. As much as we would like that to simply be the case, that clearly is not the case. I would like to also suggest, if people are interested, myself and a gentleman named Raul Mas are going to formulate a group, an organization called Gun Owners of South Florida. That name may change, but please contact me directly via email or by my phone and let us know if you want to be a part of this organization, to let people know, to let our local elected officials, hey, we're the Gun Owners of South Florida, and you need to respect the Second Amendment. You need to respect our rights as individuals. And when a tragedy happens, don't punish the law-abiding, punish the lawbreaker. And if an elected official like Scott Israel fails in his duties, punish him, not the society at large.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. Hey, between you and me, what's going to happen with Scott Israel? Is he ever going to get reelected?
He could. Because unfortunately, these tragedies come and go, and people will forget. Now, there might be some legislative action that has taken place, and there might be additional to follow. But as I suggested or recommended, I'm formulating a group along with a gentleman named Raul Mas. Google him. You'll see he's a local celebrity in South Florida, in the Miami-Dade County area. And let's unite. Please call me directly, 813-919-7400. That's my number. You want to take part in this, Gun Owners of South Florida, 813-919-7400. And you can email me directly at nhflaw@hotmail.com. One more time, that's nhflaw@hotmail.com. And when Scott Israel goes for re-election, we'll mobilize and we'll let people know we want somebody more responsible, someone that's going to prevent the tragedy before it happens, someone that's going to intervene on the first call and not miss it on the 50th or the 60th, or when the FBI is alerted to someone's potential danger to our society at large.
Hey, couldn't agree with you more. Hey, if you want to be part of the conversation, part of the show, email us at kl@kerrylutz.com, Twitter feed @KerryLutz, and Facebook page Financial Survival Network. Noel, thanks so much for coming on. It was great hearing your views on this very important matter, and let's see what happens next.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.